Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Auntie Lara and I am glad that you are here. So very quickly we are going to be continuing from where we stopped in the last lesson. Remember that we are still treating practice questions in Jamb, practice question and answer in Jamb. So these are what you should just go through, plus other resourceful materials for the upcoming Jamb examination. So let's start. Question 26. Jibunu was simply a difficult man. He was hated by all his neighbors and disheartened by his relations. He was the first and only person to beat a policeman in the entire village. He also had 10 cases instituted against him for either stealing or violating the rights of others. He had no regard for decency or normal conduct. No lover of peace or order could be his friend. It is not surprising that his death elicited jubilation rather than mourning. And the passage above revealed that Juvenal symbolizes insanity, wickedness, lawlessness, or isolation. So, what will your answer be? Okay, and the answer is lawlessness. The tragic character is the person whose experiences arouse pity, and write down your answer. Okay, and the answer is sympathy. A tragic character is the person whose experiences arouse pity and sympathy. I hope you're able to get that. Now, a character is tragic when he faces great adversity or misfortune in their life, right? Due to actions or circumstances beyond their control. And this is from the poem Radar of the Treasure Trove by Lade Osonu. Rage is chief, rage drags rags after you, of charity, laughter, sweetness, and light. Rage is thief, enemy of equanimity. And the figure of speech dominant in these lines is, write down your answer, and the correct answer is personification. Rage has been described as a chief. Rage has been described as someone that has the ability to drag. All right. Rage has been described as an enemy. Rage has been described as a thief. Okay. A government driver on his retirement is a poem of 33 lines divided into how many stanzas? A government driver on his retirement, retirement is a poem of 33 lines divided into how many stanzas? 6. And the answer is, this question is on bats. Bats, creatures that hang themselves up like an old rag to sleep and disgustingly upside down. The theme of this excerpt is all of the above. The poet writes to individual choice, the poet's admiration of the beauty of nature, or the poet's appalling remarks about the bird. Let me give you time to write down your answer. And the correct answer is the poet's appalling remarks about the bird. As you can see, we have highlighted old rag and we have also highlighted disgustingly upside down. These are appalling remarks towards appalling remarks about the. She wanted to split herself, but she checked herself. Get dressed, she said earnestly. Get dressed and let's go. You know I have a lot of things to do. And if you're going to meet again like this, she slapped the bird. Then it won't be here. It will be at the Samson and Delilah. And this is quote from Festus Yayi's Violence. Now in the passage above, the speaker can be described as hungry, domineering, friendly, treacherous. And your answer is domineering, right? I'm sure this is as straightforward as possible. Domineering describes a person who is arrogant and bossy. And from this
Bossy.
excerpt here, all we can see is she being caged bird. For the caged bird sings of freedom. The poetic device used in this expression is metaphor, irony, hyperbole, paradox. For the caged bird sing of freedom, is it metaphor, irony, hyperbole, or paradox? Caged bird sings of freedom. Now, what will your answer be? The caged bird sings of freedom. Irony. For real, is it not ironical that a bird that is in confinement, that does not even know if it's going to see freedom or it's going to be free till he dies, sings basically of freedom all the time? All right, so the right option there is irony. A metrical pause occurring in the middle of a line in a poem is called, is it tetrameter, rhythm, caesura, or assonance? And your answer is caesura. Okay, you can identify a caesura in a line of a poem when you see the following punctuation, either by the use of a comma, the use of a full stop, or when you see these two lines, yeah, all right, either slanty or vertical as this. You got to observe a pause before continuing. Carrying these oily tears dripping down, the tears on your depressed face will one day be staunched, I swear. And this is quote from Ikiriko's Oily Tears. The tone of the poet is supplicatory, optimistic, sympathetic, piteous. And what will the answer be? Yes, the answer is optimistic. He is optimistic. He believes that one day it will be stopped. And he's not even, he's swearing by it with everything that he has. I swear these tears will stop one day. Okay, and so that makes it, now we'll one day give hope that it won't last forever. Will one day, the line will one day, all right, gives hope that it won't last forever. My heart is a quiet drum. Sometimes it flares like a patched thunder cracking through a damask sky. It leaves me in fired spectacle. And this is from St. James Drumology. Now, the imagery in the excerpt above is largely dash. What do you think it's going to be? Olfactory and visual, auditory and visual, tactile and auditory, olfactory and tactile. I'm sure that you've been taught the 5 types of imagery in literature. Here is where it comes into play. Now let's go back to the question again. My heart is a quiet drum. Sometimes it flares like a patched thunder cracking through a damask sky. It leaves me in fired spectacle. Now they're asking you the imagery that is used in this question. Now let's reveal what the answer is. We have drum here, we have thunder, so we have the imagery that appeal to the sense, to our sense of what? Hearing, and that is auditory and visual. All right, auditory and visual. We have the sky, you know, we have damask sky, we have fired spectacle. All right, this would give you a picture. It should paint a picture of what the writer or the poet is writing about. And please do not forget that visual imagery appeal to your sense of sight. Auditory imagery appeal to your sense of hearing. Olfactory imagery appeal to your sense of smell. Gustatory imagery appeal to your sense of taste, and tactile imagery appeal to your sense of touch. So when you see excerpt like this, and you can, it seems as though you can touch it, right? It seems as though your something is crawling on your body, or the hairs, hairs on your body are beginning to, that appeals to your sense of touch. When you see excerpt like this, and then they give you words, and it seems as though you could actually hear, the noise or the sound that is coming from those words that has been given, like drum here, right? Like thunder here, the crackling you could hear. That appeal to your sense of hearing, and that is auditory automatically. All right, when something is painted, and in your mind's eye, you can see it, vividly, as though you are there with the poet, and you can see what the poet is writing. All right, through the use of words, he has painted that imagery, and you can actually picture it. That has appealed to your sense of sight, and that is visual. I hope we understand. The song used to smile in my heart. Of course, this is very simple, and our answer is personification. Even before the countdown, your answer should be personification, right? When you give human attributes to animals or non-living things. A tragic hero, according to the Aristotelian precept, must be a central character after whom the play is named, king with deep affection for his subject, noble character with hubris, lowly character who suddenly stumbles on some fortune. And your answer is a tragic hero. Okay, and of course, noble character with hubris. Now let's go to the characteristics of a tragic hero. He must be of noble birth. He must have a tragic flaw, that is the moral weakness that would of course lead to his downfall, and he must experience peripetia, that is the reversal of fortune, and he must have a fate. Greater than what the character deserves. All right, and of course, so our answer is tragic hero, a noble character with hubris. The character is noble in nature, but he has excessive pride, which is what hubris is. He has excessive pride. This question is based on government driver on his retirement. I shall booze and zoom contains a device called alliteration, imagery, onomatopoeia, hyperbole. What will your answer be? Okay, so it is onomatopoeia, and of course you know that onomatopoeia occurs when a sound suggests its meaning. All right, booze suggests that you drink. All right, it's a slang that, oh, you want to drink alcohol, and zoom, of course, is for cars. All right, so booze, drink, and zoom for car. The sound has suggested their meaning, and so it is a case of onomatopoeia here. The question is based on Lion and Jewel. The indication that Soyinka's The Lion and Jewel is culturally set in its use of now, why you will know that Soyinka's Lion and Jewel is culturally set, right, is in its use of, what are the things that Soyinka used that will make you know as a reader that this has to do with culture, all right, or the setting has to do with culture? Is it through dance and song, flashback, foreshadowing, or irony? And the answer is through dance and songs. Which of these is the oldest genre of literature? Is it Roman poetry, drama, or prose? And your answer is that this, you don't even need to waste time on this. Poetry is the oldest. And so Tom awoke, and we rose in the dark, and got with our bags and our brushes to work. Though the morning was cold, Tom was happy and warm. So if all do their duty, they need not fear harm. In these lines above, Tom is warm because he is working indoor, is wearing warm clothes, is doing his duty, or has just woken up from sleep. And so looking at the last line, so if all do their duty, they need not fear harm, our answer would be Doing is duty. Doing is duty. Using the name of one thing for something else with which it is closely associated is an instance of dash paradox, parody, parallelism, metonymy. And your answer is metonymy. Your answer is metonymy, right? When you say that, when you ask, say in the court of law, you ask you ask the lawyers, the barristers to approach the bench. Of course, they're not going to the bench. The bench is not the one calling them. It is the judge that is calling them, right? So when you also say, instead of you saying the king is calling for you, you say that the crown calls for you. Of course, crown does not have mouths to talk, but instead of you saying the king, you have used something that is closely associated with kings only or royalties. All right, so that immediately when you hear crown or when you hear bench, you already know that this is the person that is calling me. So instead of me now using that person, I use something that is closely associated with that thing. The question is based on Cagebird. For the Cagebird sings of freedom, the pretty device used in this expression is, and our answer is still irony. The hyena says the crown is made for him. In the above excerpt, the use of the word crown is a good deployment of oxymoron, imagery, personification, synecdoche. And the answer is synecdoche. And the answer is personification. Why is it personification in this sense? It is because animals don't get to wear crowns. Crowns are basically for humans. And now we have brought in the attribute that is solely for humans to animals. Imagine wearing a crown on a lion. That's impossible, yeah? Because it won't even stay. Okay? So this is the case of personification. This question is based on bat. Where light pushes through, a sudden turning upon itself on a thing of the air, a dip in the water, and you think the swallows are flying so late. Swallows. The dominant device used in the excerpt is rhetorical question, imagery, alliteration, paradox. And the answer is imagery. All right. This has given vivid, it has painted the mental picture through the use of certain words that will make you see exactly what the poet persona is also saying in the poem. Okay, so we move to the last question. The narrative style in which the hero tells his own story directly is the objective, first person, subjective, third person. And the answer is first person. In this case, when you read a story and there is the I pronoun or there is the me pronoun being used, the personal pronoun, just know that the protagonist, that is also the hero, is the one telling his story by himself. All right, that brings us to the end of this lesson. Till I come your way next time, if you find this video helpful, kindly please like, share, drop your comments, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Bye.